If you're looking to improve your financial health, then there is no process more important than the monthly payday ritual, and how you go about it can be the most impactful part of your financial life. What you do, when and how, can quite literally set the path for what your future life will look like next month, as well as in 5 or 10 years. Now, in my professional life, I have worked as a portfolio manager for a stock exchange listed investment fund. And every month, I treat my payday as if my personal finances were my very own publicly listed fund. So, in this video, I'll take you step by step through the process I follow each payday to make sure I'm creating the stability, peace of mind, and growth that I'm looking for in my finances. I've been optimizing this ritual for 14 years now, and I'll open up my Excel sheet that I've developed and tweaked over the decade to make the process simple, but the most impactful it can be, and I'll share with you the lessons I've learned along the way. So first of all, you wake up in the morning and you get that sweet notification that your salary has been paid into your bank account. And before I do anything else, I open my spreadsheet that I call my wealth tracker. It really is so important to track your finances so you know where you are progressing and where you need to pay attention to. I'll enter all my data on the same day each month on payday, so I'm comparing apples with apples. I open my bank account and first I look at what money I had left over before my salary came in, and whatever that is, I transfer it straight to my high interest savings account without a second thought. It's not about what can I spend it on, it's straight into savings. Then I grab a cup of coffee and I go into my spreadsheet. Here I enter the values as they are on the day of all my assets into the sheet. Now, as we go along, you can keep in mind that this spreadsheet is available in our shop in the description, but nothing is hidden here. So if you know Excel or Google Sheets, you can use this video and make one yourself. If these things are not your forte, you're welcome to grab your own copy. It's $8 once off. It's obviously all set up for you and you can make a copy, clear it each year, and use it for the rest of your life. Oh, and it comes in a bunch of different currencies as well. So I'll start by inputting the balance of all my bank accounts after my salary has arrived. Then I log into all my apps and I'll put in the value of my car, and this is what the car is worth minus what I owe on it. Then my pension that automatically gets deducted from my salary and added to the fund. If you guys don't know, a company pension is a great way to build wealth. First of all, it gets deducted straight away, so you're not tempted to use it. Typically, you will get a tax break on it, so more money comes to you. And lastly, in some cases, your company will match it or make their own contribution. Now, I've always found this kind of a sleight of hand because it's technically part of the company's package to you in their books. It's not just out of the kindness of their heart. But still, you should take advantage of it. So you might want to look to apply for this or make a higher contribution. So other things I put in here are the rental deposit on our home and any bank accounts and savings accounts. Now, when it comes to investments, there is a whole other section here, so we'll get to that part. So I've tracked my assets, which are the things I own that can be converted to a money value. And here on the left, I can see if these have gone up or down from the last month. Then a bit lower down, I will go to track my debts. Now, an important lesson I learned early in life is that your credit rating is a very important thing. A good credit score means you're more likely to get approved for things like car and home loans. And if you are approved, a better credit score means you could get better interest rates because you're seen as less of a risk. So having a good credit score can quite literally save you money. And when it comes to car and home loans, that could be hundreds, thousands, or tens of thousands saved. So that's why I make use of a credit card that I spend something on every month, usually my fuel, and then I have an automatic debit that pays it off in full every single month. So I pay no interest or fees ever, but it shows credit providers that I have a history of paying things back, and that over time helps your credit score. I'll make a whole video on this in the future, so subscribe if you want to see that. So I'll put in my credit card balance before it gets paid off on the first of the month, and any other debts I might have, which could be student loans, mortgages, etc. Now, I track all of this before I do any payments and transfers so I can compare each month equally before I start sending the money out. The next thing I do is I pay myself first. This is a principle I learned from Rich Dad Poor Dad. It says before anything else, put away your savings, pay debts, and put away for your investments. That way, I would rather feel poorer for the month from the beginning, and mentally this should make me spend less when I look at my bank balance. If you rely on saving what's left over, you'll be tempted to spend it in the month, and there might not be anything left. I also make as much as I can automatic. So I have scheduled payments go off for things like rent, any family payments, credit card, basic savings, and investment contributions. That way you don't think about it and you don't have a choice. It's automatic discipline. Another tip is to see what you can pay annually instead of monthly. Often you will get better discounts that way and save money. I then calculate all my annual costs and create one monthly amount I need to save so I have money to pay them. Things like TV license, car insurance, my Google storage, business tax, etc. So it's a monthly saving cost and it's spread out, but I still get the savings from paying annually. So that will go off automatically to a separate savings account. I'll then transfer any savings, like my YouTube earnings, that will fluctuate each month, as well as put away for tax on those earnings. So I put away 20% as a provision. On the return, it might be more or less, but it's just so that I have money put away enough for that. Then we come to investments. My usual split, depending on the month and my financial needs, is to put away 50% to cash savings and 50% to investments. If I have unexpected expenses, it might be more to cash, and if it's been a good month, it might be more to investments. And since I have my wedding coming up, it's often a bit more to replenish cash. Speaking of investments, let me show you how I track those. Now on this channel, you will find a gargantuan amount of videos about how I invest my money. But on Payday, I look to see how my portfolio is doing. So on this section here, I track all of my investments and it's all automatically populated from my setup page. I put them in once and it carries it across every month of the year and on my overview page. I open my investing apps and I fill in this column with the values of each stock, ETF, or cryptocurrency I have invested in. You could pull in rental properties as well if you have any. And at the top, it will tell me what my total is, and again, I can compare that to last month. It won't always go up each month based on market fluctuations, but in the overview page, I can also check the long-term growth. Then the cool part. I'll use Google Finance or simply Wall Street and take 10 minutes to put in the current dividend percentages of these stocks. It then gives me an automatic amount of my annual dividends based on my values and dividend percentages. Now, it's just an estimate, but it helps to give me an idea of what my investments are earning me in passive income a year. Then this part is also cool. I'll use this drop-down menu and track all my dividends I've received that month. I'll also put in any cash interest I've earned so I can see my full passive income that month. And if I go to my overview page, it will show me the breakdown for the year with every investment and how much each has earned me compared to each other by month and year. I told you, it's like I'm running my own investment fund. Now, I usually deposit one amount a month, and I'll typically invest once or twice every week to dollar cost average. If you do subscribe, I do a lot of videos about how I invest my money, but I think it's really important for the long term to not just save, but to build compounded wealth through investing and make sure you're beating inflation that would otherwise erode your savings over time. Then the last and final thing I do every payday is I reflect on the month. Once I've captured my amounts, I look through my month, I compare it to last month, and I go to my overview page, which shows me a breakdown by the month and the year. And like I said, not every month will be growth on your last month. Life happens and we get unexpected expenses. But if you're doing this every month, being mindful and intentional about where you put your money on payday and start placing bricks to build a better future, then over the long term, this graph and your overall wealth will start to tick up. And of course, compound over time and help you to improve your life now and retirement down the line. So that is my monthly payday routine and how I run it like a public investment fund. Subscribe to see more, and if you think the spreadsheet will help, you can check it out in the description. I'll answer any questions in the comments, and I'll see you again in the next one.